now with this. I'll start this off with a bit of a nice intro and then go from there. Yep.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
In the endless reaches of the universe, there once existed a planet known as Krypton, a planet that burned like a green star in the distant heavens. There, civilization was far advanced and had brought forth a race of supermen whose mental and physical powers were developed to the absolute peak of human perfection. But there came a day when giant quakes threatened to destroy Krypton forever. One of the planet's leading scientists, sensing the approach of doom, placed his infant son in a small rocket ship and sent it hurtling in the direction of the Earth just as Krypton exploded. The rocket ship sped through star-studded space, landing safely on Earth with its precious burden, Krypton's sole survivor. A passing motorist found the uninjured child and took it to an orphanage. As the years went by and the child grew to maturity, he found himself possessed of amazing physical powers. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. The infant of Krypton is now the man of steel, Superman. To best be in a position to use his amazing powers in a never-ending battle for true justice, Superman has assumed the skies of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
Yes, that is the old Mac Flesher intro, and I must thank Power Nelson for the idea, because when I was watching his The Shadow, I remember, wait, there's the old Superman things, and I think they're public domain, which I believe the Flesher cartoons are. I mean, if I get in trouble for that clip, then fine enough. It's worth it to have that amazingness. But yes, last time we were here, we had the first 3 issues, where in issue 1, Superman took a deep dive into the sun to save the day, but in doing so, he overloaded his cells with solar radiation and now is dying. So this is Superman dying, and in the second issue, he decided to show Lois who he was. Like, hey, I'm Clark Kent, I'm Superman, I'm both these people. But she didn't particularly believe him, and then got a little paranoid due to what's the best way of putting it? Got paranoid because she was exposed to some alien chemicals and tried to kill him. But because of his supercharged body, the kryptonite ray did not kill him, and was able to just tickle him. And in surviving that, he's like, hey, Lois, you want to have my powers for a night for your birthday? And that's what he did. He gave her his powers, and in doing so, he took her out downtown into Metropolis and saw some lizard people who were invaded from Earth's core. And while seeing the invaders, she also met Atlas and Samson, 2 time-traveling, let's say, they're not heroes, they're, grave robbers. Well, I guess it's not grave robbing if you steal it before the grave's done, but they're basically 2 time travelers with powers as well that tried to win her hand versus Superman, and then, during that whole kerfuffle, Lois Lane got stuck in a state between life and death from Atom Hotep, just this magical time-traveling, almost god, and Superman had to defeat him in a riddle. And in doing so, he saved the day. And now we begin with the episode 4 of this. Episode 4, the Superman Jimmy Olsen War. Now then, one thing Grant Morrison, one thing the writer of this comic did is he wanted to Grant Morrison wanted to use a lot of the old, like, Silver Age stuff. For instance, let me pull some images up of some of the, like, not even Silver Age, I think it's Golden Silver Age. I am Tale of My Time, but basically a lot of the old comics. And in fact, one of the things he used is, this is a Jimmy Olsen story. Jimmy Olsen, for a time, had his own comics. You know, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, where we have him saying, "Oh, hey, some weird kryptonite," or here is some. Let's get the other image up of just get some more Jimmy Olsen issues up. Not that one, not that. Oh, this one's a classic of This one's a classic where Jimmy Olsen's trying to give Superman a gift for his gift. And he's like, "Oh, your gift sucks. I'm gonna burn it." Really, there's a lot. There was a time period where it was like Superman was not nice. It was super dickery as a time it's called. "Hello, pig. Welcome. Good morning, man." We just got into the intro. I had just played the old Flesher intro, and I'm now just doing a little intro before we start the comic itself. Right now, I'm showing off pretty much what the story will be. This first story, episode 4, is a Jimmy Olsen story. Jimmy Olsen he's been very strange in comics. He basically what he was is he like every daily would have like each comic was like a self-contained like thing about Jimmy Olsen just doing something crazy. Like you have Jimmy Olsen right now. All those like this is an image edit that has like multiple Jimmy Olsen stories. We have the time Jimmy Olsen got long limbs, or a porcupine, or wolf man, or that weird giant creature. So yes, Grant Morrison harkens back to this time period by also having weird Jimmy Olsen stories. And so to start that off with, we're starting off with the Jimmy Olsen War. The Superman Jimmy Olsen War, episode 4. Let us begin. That's it. We're through, Jimmy Olsen. You've been named the worst dressed man in Metropolis for the 2nd year running. That's not fair. The 4-day feature that they based that on was I was down and out in medieval England. And the year before that, I was celebrating my bronze medal success in the Homeless Olympics. Make all the excuses you want, pal. Rock Handsome, the space pilot, has asked me to go with him to the opening of Frankenstein on Ice, and I'm seriously thinking about taking him up on the offer. Rock Handsome? I can't believe you'd be so shallow, Lucy. Believe it, Jimmy. What are you going to do to reinstate yourself in my affections before it's too late? This is outrageous. It's all because that gypsy's cursed. I have bad luck until the next full moon. Worst dressed? What are they talking about? I'm Jimmy Olsen. I look great. And I have to hand it to you, Olsen. Half the guys in the country hate you. The other half want to be you. And let's not forget the half that wants to date you. That's 3 halves, Chief. And so far, they're all guys. I'm reluctant to admit it, but everybody's reading the Jimmy Olsen on the weekend. Circulating the Sunday Planet is through the roof since we put you on the features, but what have you got for us next? How do you top I Was America's Sweetheart for a day? Picture this, Chief. Some say space is the final frontier, but for me, Jimmy Olsen, it was one small step in an incredible journey, and a chance to swap my stylish threads for a coveted coat of many colors. We can't go wrong. I love your 4-day columns. They take 7 minutes to read, which is quite coincidentally the time I personally require on the toilet. Tell him again, Agatha. He loves them. Hey, keep it coming. Those are the kind of off-beam factoids my audience eats up. I'm kidding, Mr. Olsen. My G-Main security team is coming with me. But otherwise, project's considerable resources are in your hands. Some bodyguards, expecting much trouble? Adam and Eve are war cops, bioengineered to end large-scale conflicts using non-lethal means. Awe-inspiring, but you can keep him, Mr. Q. Don't forget, I have a super bodyguard of my own if anything goes wrong. Ah, the famous Superman signal watch. Let's hope you won't need that. Shield your eyes, Mr. Olsen. The electro kind are tungsten gas life forms with a brittle glass exoskeleton. Their language is purely optical, and some sentences in this greeting may cause instant blindness. These shapes I'm making are the equivalent of words on the world of the electro kind. Here they come. Superman rescued their light ship when it crashed into Saturn's ring. Let me get a drink of water. I picked up enough of their visual language to make myself understood, and now they've invited me to visit their home planet. Impossible to turn down an offer like that. Bon voyage, Mr. Q. Thank you. anything can happen around here, and for the next 24 hours, I'm walking in the shoes of the world's foremost eccentric zillionaire daredevil as leader of the ultimate futurist think tank from the Sea of Ingenuity on the dark side of the moon. Jimmy Olsen presents I Was Project Director for a Day. So much for the Gypsy's Curse. Okay, project's obviously an acronym. Can anyone tell me what it stands for? I've dedicated my existence to explaining the unified field in the perfect form of haiku. If we can first unify the fundamental forces in our imagination, you see what else will follow. Well, when you put it like that, I guess. To imagine the forces unified is to begin the unification. Too many syllables. What was that all about? Have you ever heard the word haiku so many times in one elevator conversation? We G-types are designed to be specialists, Director Olsen. Unlike you, our social roles are predetermined. It prevents confusion. Wow. I can't decide who I am from one day to the next. Say, what's this? Now we're getting somewhere. Please come away from there. Do not open until doomsday. Aw, come on. What about the good stuff? The forbidden machines, the Black Ops monstrosities, the things from other planets. If I'm in charge, I want to see the cool stuff. Doomsday is a legacy of Project's origins in the US Army's Cadmus Division. The vault contains a highly dangerous experimental stem cell accelerator designed to transform a soldier into an unstoppable killing machine. Please, Doomsday! See, that's the kind of excitement I need for my feature. These shielded tunnels beneath the lunar surface are known as the Outer Burrows, and I brought you down here for a reason. It's 1800 hours, Director Olsen. Time to check on the portal to the Underverse. The Underverse? Spooky. What goes on down here? We're exploring the world of super heavy gravity, a newly discovered basement level hidden beneath the known surface structure of the universe. You're looking into dense foundations of reality where time itself cools to a solid liquid. Bizarro infratechnicians are mining for minerals. I have something, but it's overloading the equipment. Look out! Director Olsen, yeah! Don't let go. You'll be crushed to atoms. Memo to self. Never mess with the Queen of the Gypsies. Ugh. Now this is why I hire Clark Kent at the planet. This is honest to God, get your hands dirty, old school journalism. Are you listening, Kent? I may not dish out praise like this for another 100 years. What? Uh-oh. My land, Perry. I just remembered I left the oven at home. Yes, Mark 5. I'll have the Luther interview on your desk by Friday. On my what? Da 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 da. The gravitational pull down there is immense. You okay, Superman? I'm so sorry about this. Strange. I felt for a little faint for a moment, Jimmy. I'm afraid I couldn't save the worker who fell in there. Maybe I can bring back his discovery. Rip in peace, worker. There. Here's what caused all that trouble. Caution. Super heavy, unknown infomaterials have penetrated normal space. Superman, I don't want to worry you, but I think you should back away slowly from the object while we spin a gravity bottle to contain it. Black kryptonite. A new isotope of the low-frequency end of the K mineral spectrum. It seems we've dug up a radioactive fragment of your homeworld that's been buried years in the Underverse. A new type of kryptonite. I don't like the look of this, Superman. K radiation can kill you. Not anymore, since I became immune to green K, Jimmy. I can't say I feel any physical effects from this sample. I guess I'm fine. I'm glad to hear it, Superman. Glad to hear it. For a moment there, I couldn't help thinking about that Gypsy's curse. It's that watch signal. Like, I don't have enough to deal without bailing you out of some stupid scrape every other day. You'd be dead without it, without me. Superman, that rock, it did something, didn't it? It's just cheap moon-based furniture. Quintum's loaded anyways. Think about it. I probably increased its sale value with my autograph. Okay. We can handle a Superman who's a little mischievous, a little annoying, but basically okay? No! No! God, getting worse! Everything's got opposite. Jimmy, I don't know what Black K does. It makes me bad, and you know what? Part of me is starting to like that idea. Too opposite. This is bad. I'm in a jam. I need your help. Earth. Look at them, swarming like futile bugs in the sun. Who's gonna stop me from doing anything I want, Jimmy Olsen? You? No way. Ha 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 ha. Emergency! Project Red emergency! Emergency! Superman himself helped create 3 anti-Superman weapons. One was kryptonite-powered and is currently ineffective. The second weapon is its Phantom Zone cannon, will shortly be released from a lead shielding and fired from an orbital location. The Phantom Zone? That's a no-exit ride to oblivion! What choice would we have faced with an evil Superman? He could crack the Earth in half, he could enslave humanity. Zing! Here are the, people built to fight him. He saved my life a zillion times! What about the third weapon? It's Doomsday, right? Our Voyager Titans and Bizarro clones have failed to stop him. Prepare for teleport, Director Olsen. There goes the planet. Ugh. Still as strong as ever was. Where am Lois Lane? Superman, I can't leave you embarrass yourself like this. You. Yeah. What is it with you? Director Olsen, this is Agatha. After initial tests, it was decided that the Doomsday was too unstable, too dangerous to be used in under any circumstance. You point that dumb gun at me? Say bye-bye, hand. I can't condone this. Ugh. Indestructible watch, go! Without a hypnotic trigger to bring you back, Doomsday will overwhelm your mind. Ugh. We must use Weapon 2. I thought of everything, Agatha. Ugh. And the gun's not for you, Superman. What am you talk about? Roar! Oh no! Ugh. Cool. Wham! Me am no impossible. Me feel. You feel this! We must fire the cannon. 30 seconds, Mr. President. Olsen has 30 seconds left before Doomsday overloads his nervous system. 28. Grr. Feel what? Ving. What am happened to me? No fair. Me get weaker. Me am die now? No die. Me scared. Z. No die. No can die. Am Superman. No can die. Z. Roar. Don't let anybody see him like this, you hear me? Excuse us? I know this is gonna sound insane, but Nathan and I are the producers of the Broadway smash hit, Frankenstein on Ice. Here are some VIP tickets for the opening night. Huh? You and Superman just saved our lives from that terrible monster. The best for a day ever, and I can't tell anyone. The inert Black K sample is safe in this lead-lined gravity box. Something for your trophy room. What a nightmare. The Black K Superman was everything you're not. A bully, a coward, a liar. Weird thing was, the worse he acted, the weaker he became. Just as well. I hope you take anything I said back there with a pinch of salt. Jimmy, I can't thank you enough. I'm glad I can always count on my pal to thank fast in a crisis. Anytime, Superman. Ahem. Mr. Olsen, we just used up our entire annual budget in one day. How do I explain this to Mr. Quintum? Don't you guys have, like, limitless resources? I checked the secret bank account in Zurich. There's an infinity sign in the credit column. You guys are loaded. You can't know that. No firewall is Jimmy Olsen proof. And I still have 10 hours left as project director, so I have a couple last requests, including a large-scale, short-term cosmetic alteration to the moon, which I'd like to commission. Hey, I let myself in. What happened with Rock Handsome? He was arrested for selling mind-bending Mars rocks on eBay. How was your assignment? You missed Superman beating up a monster downtown. Assignment, behold, the mayor of Dolesville. At least I got to look through Leo Quintum's wardrobe. 365 rainbow coats. All identical. Oh, and, by the way, have you seen the moon? What do you think? Did my curse wear off? I love Lucy. Jimmy Olsen, get over here. Now then. We just got through with a Jimmy Olsen comic. In fact, I'm going to take a moment here to pause before you start reading the next one, bring up some more images, because, as I said, this was a Jimmy Olsen comic, but there's something kind of fascinating about this. Okay, you know the concept of black kryptonite? Black kryptonite has been used, actually, in the future. In fact, for instance, during Batman Who Laughs, this was a basically this is Batman right here. He's an evil version of Batman. What happened is that's a Batman who killed the Joker, and in doing so, he became the Joker. And so here's the example of Black Kryptonite itself. See, he has a shard of itself, and in this case, in this edgy alt timeline, evil Joker Batman used Black Kryptonite. He modified it. He used it to have Supergirl kill her family, and then had Superman and Superman's son kill Lois Lane. So yeah, that's some dark stuff. Not good stuff. That's Black Kryptonite, not good. So let me pull up another image about this Black Kryptonite. Along with this, you know the part where Jimmy Olsen turns into Doomsday? That was also further referenced again in the same concept of evil Batman does something. In this case, this is the evil Batman who, funnily enough, the same concept in this story happened here, where what happened was, we start the story off in this one. They don't know what happened. Superman just goes mad. He goes crazy and is turned evil. And so Batman tries to stop him. And you know the green sphere, sphere. Joker Batman looks happy. Joker Batman has a permanent smile, but this is a different one. This is another story of an evil Batman, where this evil Batman had Superman on his Earth. What comic is that? The Batman looks like a zombie there. This one, oh, are you talking about the one that's on screen right now? This is Batman the Devastator. Okay, during, I think it was like 20... Okay, let me get my time. Like 2017, I believe. Batman Who Laughs. That's fine. Who his... Okay. 2017, yes, 2017, there was this whole big event where evil Batman invaded the DC universe. One of them was Joker Batman, and another one of them was Doomsday Batman. So, remember how Jimmy had to fight evil Superman? Well, this is the same concept, where Superman just snaps one day in this universe, and Batman tries to fight him, and if you saw Batman vs. Superman, the movie, you'll recognize his green spear. Batman tried to go for the spear attack like in the movie, and that failed. And so, Batman has to use his last resort, and he uses a modified strain of the Doomsday virus to become... This image up. Image right here. Bat Doomsday. So yes, this comic, All-Star Superman, has been referenced in the future. It's been referenced similar times, like this one. We have, we have basically, this one's like, oh wow, Batman goes Doomsday because they have to fight Superman. So same concept here. So it's really cool how much All-Star Superman was influential. It was referenced in multiple times in like multiple comics. So here's like two references of it, of Batman going evil is Batman going evil using black kryptonite and Batman going evil and becoming Doomsday. Now then, let's begin. Let's begin with the next episode. Episode 5, The Gospel According to Lex Luthor. Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Al Capone, Adolf Hitler, Lex Luthor. You freely admit that these vile and appalling criminals are the men you revere above all else as heroes and role models. Your insane schemes have placed in jeopardy the lives of every man, woman, and child on this planet. Have you anything more to say before I deliver the verdict of this court? Superman made me do it. He should be on trial here. Put me away, you senile sweating toad. Get this farce over with. I'll do more than that. You're a human monster, Lex Luthor. An amoral, sociopathic predator, driven by jealousy, greed, and a grandiose self-delusion. It gives me great pleasure to deliver the verdict of this court. Guilty on all accounts of crimes against humanity. The sentence is death in the electric chair. Oh, he looks happy. Welcome to Stryker's Island, Mr. Kent. Built to hold the crazy gangsters of Metropolis in the 1930s, and now home to 140 deranged and deformed super criminals. And I thought it was the garlic bagel that was making me queasy, Max. I have 1 hour on death row with the world's most notorious criminal scientist. Him? Cough. Yes, I'm aware of your lumbering presence, Kent. I was just finishing some fine detail work on my Bibliobot Mark II. A roving library. He'll read you any thousands of classic works from from Ulysses, Stately, Plump, Buck, Mulligan, Zzz, to Tale of Two Cities. Most of the time, he just floats around on his own. It's pathetic. Culture's a dirty word nowadays, but God knows I try. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Call him off! Careful, Kent! Whoop, trips and falls. Look at you. You write like a poet, but you move like a landslide. I'm sure I had my dignity when I came in here. Afternoon, Luthor. I'm here on the floor for our interview. Your clumsiness may have saved me from electrocution. Thanks to my rubber insoles. Whoa! Huh. How ironic is that? Here I am on death row, courtesy of evidence gathered by your newspaper, the Daily Planet. That is kind of ironic. Almost makes us quite the star reporter. Almost makes us quits, star reporter. How about this pair of fat girls? Somehow they overlooked the high voltage death trap. I wouldn't call them girls. They look pretty tough to me. They've given me an hour to talk with you, Lex, to hear your side of the story. I saw that Da Vinci of crime headline. It seems like a compliment, but there's a sneer hidden there somewhere, isn't there? Follow me, Kent. This would never have happened if anyone else on the planet had the wit to see it. That smug self-regard that powers his beaming, boyish grin. How does a man like you feel about Superman, honestly? I'm fine with him. He's always been friendly around the office. And you don't feel in any way diminished by his very presence on this planet? Strange. Our jobs don't tend to overlap. Speaking of which, my job as a reporter, that is. What is that? What are you writing about me now? Give. Unintelligible squiggles. I can mentally crack any code known to man in less than a minute. Time me. It's shorthand, Lex. Simmer down. Shorthand? What kind of ridiculous affection is that? Is that for a man? Why can't you use an electric recording device like any normal hack? Those things, Those don't seem to. I can't seem to get them to work around me. I picked up shorthand from my ma. Give her my regards next time you drop by the family plot. Shorthand. Okay. Give me something else to learn now. Imagine life on this world if some opportunistic alien vermin hadn't decided to dump its trash here, Kent. That's all I've ever asked anybody to do. Imagine how it was meant to be. Think about it. Without Superman to distract her, you just never know. Perhaps cool, cruel Lois Lane might actually have noticed good old Clark, sighing faithfully there in the corner. Ugh. Why aren't you blushing? I know you have feelings for her. I'm here to interview you, Luthor. Remember the big exclusive you promised my editor? I'm just saying, a tall, strapping Midwestern farmer's boy with brains, integrity, and no style of his own, that's a prize catch for any cynical city girl. Throw in some weight training, and that flabby physique of yours could even rival Superman's build. I don't know about that. I'll presume you're launching an appeal? Next to him, she sees an oaf and a dullard, a cripple. Next to the all-powerful Superman, Lex Luthor is an idiot. And you know what? She'll never see past him to you. Hey! Are you trying to intimidate me, Lex? We all fall short of that sickening, inhuman perfection, that impossible ideal. Feel that, Kent? Real muscles, not like him. Go on, feel. It's easy to be strong when you just happen to be when you happen to come from planet Krypton. This takes hard work. Impressive, but a little off topic. You sure don't act like a man facing imminent death. I don't, do I? Hands off, Kent. So, how's Superman these days? Pale? Tired? He seems just fine. Ah, but he's not. He only looks that way. I don't get it. Why squander your resources and intellect on this, frankly, unhealthy obsession with Superman? You know, I spent so much of my adult life in prison thanks to him. It seems like home. Predictable, comfortable. The same types are recurring. The brutes, the strong-armed men, the ones who need a gang to belong to, a similar creed to follow, the masterminds, the loners. Stryker is my bottle city, like Superman's, Kandor, a world in a miniature. Where better to establish an alternative than here, in the most hostile environment known to man? What would you do if you had his powers? An alternative to what? The truth, justice, and all that other things you can't weigh or carry, to every abstract he represents. Is this really all about Superman? Lex, these men seem pretty restless. They can feel the coming change, the wings of a new human renaissance. I'm transforming this place into a new model of society. Kent, a blueprint for utopian living. You have the eyebrow shape beauticians call the Superman swoosh. Apparently, 65% of men subconsciously trim their eyebrows that way to be more like him. Lex, you dropped this earlier. This is my final revenge, to be right. My survival of the smartest doctrine commands absolute respect in here. Oh, got you, Luthor. Suck you dry. Ignore it. Every society has its monsters. But Parasite doesn't scare me. Brain beats brawn every time. The Parasite? Luthor! You heard me, Luthor. Got you? I'll show him who's boss when the time comes. Punch out the big ugly ones first. Lex, that's what my grandma used to say. The Parasite? Wait a minute. He's safe behind lead shieldings, right? Oh! Power! What's happening? Marlin, what's he doing? More power than I've ever had. But he feeds on nearby energy sources, like if Superman were like passing by or something. Why bother shield him on his way back to the infirmary? So what if he drains a toaster before the screws take him down? What's the matter, Kent? Scared he'll absorb your last reserve of cowardice? Can't let him touch me. Need to get out of here. Everything okay, Mr. Kent? Oh, wait, one second. I've reached the end of this section. My bad. Sorry about this. Whoopsie days. Didn't realize I got the end of that one. Okay, and get off. Luckily, I caught it in time. What's the matter, Kent? Scared he'll absorb your last reserve of cowardice? Ugh. Can't let him touch me. I need to get out of here. Everything okay, Mr. Kent? More power! More power! Riot! 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 Chaos. The phase transition. The necessary first stage in the foundation of any society order. Power! Luther! You're in terrible danger. Urgh. My stress ulcer. Kent. That's tear gas, you moron. Hi, girls. I'm in danger, he says. You're under my protection now, Kent. In my world. Kent? Some other slob of a journalist can have Lex Luthor's story of a lifetime. Can't see. How did we get out of here? What just happened? Sir! Superman! That could have been my skull, Kent, you oaf! This way! Uh-oh. I said follow me, Kent, if you want to live. If you want to live, mind your glasses. But I can't see without them. Everything's a complete blur. Zoom. Zzz. Ring. Or dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Run! Don't tell me. It's your asthma. It's your asthma. Keep up, Kent. That's some security system. You know, part of me would be happy watching these animals tear apart your sanctimonious ox. But I want you alive. I want you to tell my story. A story of a man who refused to bend the knee to an alien invader. The man who dared to ask, who does Superman think he is? Wouldn't you rather talk about your achievements, Lex? Can we stay away from the parasite? I don't really think it's safe down here. My cell is down here, and that's where we're going. You want to live, don't you? Like a son. Bullets won't stop him. He's converting the kinetic energy into more mass. You're right. Look at him, bloated with power. Nothing left but a mouth and an appetite. Hungry son. Drawn like a moth to an immense energy source. So prove you're fit to lead us, Luthor. Fight! 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 Welcome to my cozy, middle-class existence. And pray for a miracle, Kent. Get me out of here, Luthor. There's going to be an earthquake. He's going to cause an earthquake. He's choking on his own energy, stuffed and bursting like an overripe fruit. My bullets must have tipped the balance, made him too massive to carry his own weight. I guess so. Poor man. His own greed engulfed him. See what happens to anyone who dares cross me, Kent. Anyone who underestimates Lex Luthor. Liquefying. And that's exactly how he'll look. That's how Superman will look at the end. Nobody threatens me. Nobody gets in Luthor's way. Lex, my shorthand can't handle this volume. Anybody else want to challenge my ideas? Didn't think so. I'm walking straight back to my cell on death row. You want change? Wait for my signal. I'll tell them how you helped me out. Quelled the riot. Lex, I know you're not all bad. I've always liked you, Kent. You're a humble, modest, uncoordinated human. You're everything he's not. But you're just another weapon in my war against Superman. Watch how easily I make you, your paper, and the entire penal system seem completely unreliable. And then the imitatable Lex Luthor opened the floor and shook hands with a baboon in a Superman suit. Evening, Leopold. Rawr, rawr. Well, he was right about that. Your escape route, Kent. Excavated by Bibliobot Mark II. Did you know Moby Dick can be recited at a frequency so high Melville's masterpiece becomes a sonic drill capable of carving through solid rock? Literally boring a passage through the earth. Lovely Natalia will take you back to the land of the living while I await the end. She's 18, speaks 30 languages, and wants to rule the world one day. Bless her. Call me nasty. Eyebrow, Lexi. Eyebrow. What are you looking at, Kent? Nothing. Without my glasses, I'm completely bald. You could escape at any moment time you wanted, Lex. I'm going to the chair, fulfilled. Don't worry about me. I have friends in high places. I can't believe you're getting ready to die like this. You and Superman could have been friends. Are you insane? I'm a born dictator. You'll die like a mad dog in the yard. Think straight, Lex. He'll die first. I used the sun itself, Kent, the source of his powers, to overload his cells, his cellular batteries, and destroy him from within. Do you understand? I killed Superman. Oh. One of his eyebrows is messed up. That's what she was saying, eyebrows. I get it now. He doesn't want the world to know he's dying, of course. So break the news gently. Take your exclusive, Kent. You can't prove this. I place his believed truth in your hands. Strike with it. You wanted my story, the gospel of Lex, and now you have it. There's no deep psychology behind the struggle between Superman and I. It's very simple. How would you feel if someone deliberately stood in your way over and over again? If it wasn't for Superman, I'd be in charge of this planet. And now he's dying. What more could I want? Where to now, Mr. Kent? Issue 3. Funeral in Smallville. Okay, we had a Jimmy Olsen story, we had a Lex Luthor story, now we have a Superboy story. Superboy was, let's say, Clark Kent before he was like Superman. These are stories that take place, you know, if I can find a good image. That's a good one. Sure, this will work. Let me get another, give me one more, I gotta find another image. That's Superboy. Oh, actually, well, there's one other image of Kryptonite I want to pull up in a moment, but I gotta pull that Kryptonite image. It's fine. Let's just go to Superboy comic. Not that Superboy. Not the clone. Clark. Superboy was basically a Superboy stories when he was in Smallville, like with Lana Lang, young Luthor, all that stuff. Let's look at the image up right now. Okay, so here is actually here's two of them I'll get. Image 4, that's fine, yeah, browse. Give me that. There's it at, okay. I had to find the image. Like, here's Superboy. It's basically wacky adventures when he was in Smallville. He wasn't a big shot. It's a lot of like this funny, like, where, like, a common occurrence was like, oh, a rival alien is in Smallville and Superboy has to see him, or Pete Ross was his friend. So we had Pete Ross, Lana Lang as his two best friends in Smallville. And we have another one of those comics where, like, hey, Superboy's in Smallville, seeing some people. Yes, we have a Jimmy comic, a Superboy comic, so yes. Oh, sorry, my words. It's basically, the writer is basically like taking from Superman's history. He's taking from all parts of his history, not just modern comics or modern in that time period, but he's also taking from the past, which I really like because he modernizes these past things. Okay, so now then let's begin for episode 6, Funeral in Smallville. You maybe can't imagine how it was for us. Your mom and me, we'd been married, it must have been like 10 years by now. And Lord knows, one thing after another, we both bitterly regretted that we couldn't have a child. You know, me, Clark, I've never been much for sitting at a church. What else could I do? I came right here, and I prayed. I figured nothing would happen, but I had to try. And then one night, not long after, you came. Makes you wonder, huh? A childless couple, blessed from above with a miracle boy from another world. How does that happen? And not just any boy, but the finest young fella I ever met. Look at you. You're destined for great things, Clark. That's it. Even I'm not immune to embarrassment, Pa. You want me to shift that old tree that got hit by lightning last night? Sure. It looks to me like somebody else has other plans for you. Ruff. That's Crypto. Crypto, where have you been, pal? Crypto, come on, boy, hup! Ruff. Ugh. You ready? Ruff. Catch. Ruff. Woohoo! I stopped listening to my pa when I was his age. Land's sake, pa, you're pale as a ghost. You can fly in space now, Martha. Oh, I keep track. If everything happens for a reason, why here? Why us? He doesn't belong on a farm. He doesn't belong on a farm. Maybe none of us do anymore. Jonathan? Evening, folks. I hear you are on the lookout for some good men, Mr. Kent, for the harvest. Huh? Who are those 3 men I saw up high on the field? Pa knows they can bring the harvest in single-handedly, right? Well, I have to say, they're might unusual, but they're very well mannered. Clark, your pa wants to do this done his way, the old way. Now hush, here they come. Clark, I'd like you to meet our new farmhands. Men, this is my son, Clark I told you about. He's studying to be a journalist. Incredible. Oh. Incredible. Clark Kent, my name's Calvin Elder. I'm honored to meet you. These boys met in the war, did I hear you right, Cal? You right, Cal? The big fella don't talk much, but yeah, he's seen some action, you betcha. Our pleasure, young Mr. Kent. Our pleasure indeed. And then this little guy worked in a circus as the pint-sized powerhouse, he said. But it was the one in bandages when he shook my hand that I felt a chill go up my spine. They're hard workers and all, it's just, I don't know what it is, but I'm suspicious. Suspicious? Maybe you think there's this whole investigative reporter thing has gone to your head, Clark. Did the big city make you so cynical already? Actually, Metropolis is kind of overwhelming. I grew up with all this space and emptiness. Pete Ross! Tell him he's crazy. He listens to you. You're crazy, Clark. It's official. I don't know if I need to be in the city at all. I still haven't decided what to do next. I like farming. Don't you want to see the world? I want to see the world. Look at us, the old gang, all grown up. Let us never forget. Smile. I saw him. It was a Kansas Superman. Ain't no such thing. But he flew away with that old man. Clark, are you listening to me? You want me to send a print to your mom and dad, or can I get it to you in Metropolis? I haven't decided yet, Lana. This soda, I'd have forgotten how rich food was back home. Maybe I should excuse myself. Okay. Go ahead, Clark. We won't talk about you while you're gone. Why do you both have to act like I don't know who he is? Why do you both have to act like I don't know who he is? Oh yes, they both know. May I ask, hello, Madly Storm. Don't make me talk about this, Lana. Sure thing, Madly Storm. Interject anytime. All those keep reading if you more. I overheard it right. See, Crypto? Calvin Elder. He has superpowers like mine. An action suit like mine. What's this game? Madly Storm, this is not a game. This is me reading comics. For you see, the whole month of April, not April, whole month of May, why April, this is me reading the comic of All-Star Superman. All-Star Superman is a 12-issue miniseries that was done by the legendary writers. It's such a wonderful comic, and I wanted to share it with everybody. And so I've been reading All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. Not sure what I was going to say. Frank Morrison. No, Grant Morrison. Frank Miller's the other guy I was thinking of. Grant Morrison. So yes, I'm just sharing this fun comic with you guys as a bit of a reading and talking about comics as well. Afterwards, in between episodes, I talk about the comic, and afterwards I'll do a bit of a lecture itself. So yes, glad you could join me though. We're just at the end of the comic series. We're almost at the end of issue 6, which is what I've been doing. But yes, now last we left off, Superboy, not Superman. This is a comic that takes place in the past, where Superman is not himself yet. He's still just Smallville boy. And right now, Three strange men have appeared on his farm, helping out his parents. And he now knows one of them is a superhero. I overheard that, right? See, Crypto? Calvin Elder? He has superpowers and an action suit like mine. And here comes the others. Brrr. Shh, Crypto, shh. What do they want? I was too late to save him. The chronovore ate this poor man's entire life, but he didn't die in vain, Cal. Wait. I hear a distinctive heartbeat nearby, like an echo. Fine dog you got there. Good, strong jaws. How did you sneak up like that? Are you from Krypton like me? No, I was born on Earth, Clark. 851,000 years from now. My name's Cal Kent. I'm the Superman of 853,500 AD. Your little super familiar here is spooked because he smells the future on me. You've traveled in time before. You know it's possible. Yes, this Superboy used to be a member of the Legion of Superheroes, a futuristic year 3000 team. So yes, this Superboy does know time travel, and here it is once again. As a member of the Superman Squad, I fight alongside the Supermen of many different eras to protect the time structure of space-time itself. Superman? You've already met my allies, the unknown Superman of 4,500 AD, and Klitzleklick Klitzblick, the Superman of the 5th dimension. Future Superman, sorry we had to disguise ourselves. As you can see, my true form would attract a little too much attention. There! Were those, thoughts I saw? Deepest apologies. My 5D vision only entered our bloodline in the 67th century when Superman Purple married Queen Glitzelzif of Zerf. I wanted to show you the chronovore monster we've hunted across 10 centuries so far. Our bloodline, if you're my descendants. I mean, do I marry Lana? Amazing, isn't it? This picture survived as a trophy in your fortress, and if it hadn't, we'd never suspect the chronovore's existence here. He's come here to die and to spawn. The distinctive energy footprint of this beast can be clearly seen, frozen in this light image. Wow. Lana Lang saves the universe. It's not saved just yet. The chronovore is here! It ages everything it touches. It just turned Farmer Stone's cows into the hamburgers they were destined to become. That's why I brought my handy hyperpoon. But this time we'll spear it and chain it with 5th dimension snares until our teammates get here with a Tesseract cage. What's going on? Stand back, Clark. This is a job for the Superman Squad. What are you doing? I'm going with them. This is my home. These are my people to protect. I can't let you do that, Clark. You must understand. Rah! Hands off! I can take care of myself, and there's something weird about all of this. There she blows! Now's your chance, big fella. You can't stop me! Don't be insane. I'm faster, I'm stronger, I'm able to leap from world to world in a single bound. Urgh. I'm telepathic. You can't resist me. Your solar powers are in their infancy. You're not as strong, as smart, or as fast as you will be. Oh yeah? But I have my dog. Heck of a harvest, Mr. Kent. You boys did a fine job. I always say it's the work you put in that you get back. My wife wants us to up sticks back into Smallville. Minding the general store puts her right at the heart of business, she says. This is the end of the line for me and the farm. He'll be okay, won't he? The boy? It all comes out right in the end. No! Stay back! The chronovore's breaking loose. Grr. Not if I can help it. I tried to warn you. If you face the chronovore, it will eat a precious 3 minutes of your life. And in those 3 minutes, Jonathan Kent suffered a fatal heart attack. I can't hold it! I can't hold it! It's alright. It's alright. We've got him. Let go, Clark. Let go. Pa? Why can't I hear my pa's heartbeat? Pa, not my pa. I can save him. I can save everybody! Jonathan Kent taught me the strong have to stand up for the weak, and that the bullies don't like being bullied back. He taught me that a good heart is worth more than all the money in the bank. He taught me all about life and death. He taught me that the measure of a man lies not in what he says, but what he does. And he showed me, by example, how to be tough, and how to be kind, how to dream of a better world. Thanks, Pa. Those are lessons I'll never forget. Yep. Sorry about that. I didn't change the chapter image. My bad. I can't leave you alone, Ma. Alone in Smallville? Clark, you think Pa wanted you to stay a farmer all your life? One of the last things he said, Clark, you're bigger than all of us. Bigger than this. All of us. You belong to the world now. What's the point of all my powers? What's the point of anything? I didn't even get to say goodbye. Lightning door is open, Cal. We better go to exit deep time and return to 853,500. The Chronivore is destined at the Celestial Zoo at Squad HQ. And thanks again. We couldn't have done this without you. At last. I can take off these bandages. I knew I had to conceal my identity from my younger self, because that's what I remembered happening. Thanks for the opportunity to see my pa. To see my pa one last time. We're sorry we couldn't save him, but his heart just ran out of beats. You know, if he hadn't died, you might have stayed in Smallville, and none of us would have ever been born. Before you return to your time, the leader of the Superman squad has something for you, sir. Which of my descendants are you? Ha! This was the day you joined forces with 3 generations. This was the day you joined forces with 3 generations of Supermen to chain the Chronivore, another of your 12 legendary labors, I seem to recall. This is an indestructible flower from New Krypton, for him, from all of us, in remembrance of all that we are, and all that we will be. Jonathan Kent. And that's all the issues. I'm very glad to have everyone here. Now then, I kind of spoiled the issue a little bit with the image I brought up of, spoiled the twist of a bandaged Superman. It was actually Superman that we're reading right now. Yeah, actually, let me pull the image up here. See, here's the Superboy story where Superboy meets, well, it's not the same story, it's a similar concept though, yes. Superboy meets Superman. See, through issues 1 through 5, we saw Superman. And in fact, that Superman in the past 5 issues was the guy under the bandages this whole time. Because this story took place in the past. Yes, we have Superboy, well I guess, in this case, this is like Superman year 1. He has just left Smallville, but yes, we have Superboy and Superman meeting each other. And that's what I liked about this bit. These 3 stories were pretty much Morrison taking like 3 common tropes from the past and modernizing them. He took just a simple Jimmy Olsen story, because Jimmy Olsen had Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. He had his line of comics and just hijinks happening in there, which the hijinks occurred. He had a great just a simple story of Lex Luthor explaining his ethos. Luthor just sees this as a battle of him versus Superman. If Superman wasn't there, Luthor's problems would all be fixed. Which, I mean, I'm not sure if he's correct. It's kind of saying, like, oh, if it wasn't for Superman, I'd cure cancer. Well, why not cure cancer anyways? And another thing, Kryptonite, oh, hello, Daishima, welcome to the raid. I just got done reading. Magical T-Boy raid, thank you. Welcome, Shima. Welcome, Zelnad. Mystic, how was your stream? I just finished reading issue 6, so we're about to wrap up, but it's time for the lecture part of this, where I talk about the story itself, along with, you know, just other things that came up. For instance, we had a Superboy story this time, where Superboy met Superman. Justin, how was your stream, man? I'm just pulling up some images while I wait. What's another image I need to pull? Oh yes, this is the image I have to pull up. I cannot share this one. Where's it? This one. The stream was good. Did a chill Genshin stream to do the event and some other stuff. They added a prop hunt thing, huh? Prop hunt. I don't know much about Genshin. I don't know what Genshin is. It's apparently Genshin is gacha. I don't know gacha. Yes. And then in the first story we had Superman had black kryptonite. Now this isn't black kryptonite, but kryptonite in DC has been crazy. Like, for instance, actually, this is relevant. Let me pull up this image as well. I'll talk about that image first. It's a gacha game, yeah, but it's more of a real game compared to the other stuff. Oh, it actually has mechanics and stuff that are interesting. Oh, Daishima, that's cool. That's actually makes sense. Okay, let me pull this image up as well. Yes, in Superman stories, kryptonite's always been used often, like for just any gimmick. For instance, we have Jimmy Olsen and like silver, green, red, gold, white, silver gets so like those kryptonite. And in fact, in one of the stories, there was also pink kryptonite, which I mean. Superman's watching awful strength since he's exposed to pink kryptonite. What's wrong with him? So yes, we have pink kryptonite turns Superman gay. Because, you know, early 2000s DC was interesting. Yes, early aughts. So yes, did I tell you how like smashing that bow tie, Jimmy? Because of course it does. So yes, pink kryptonite is just another one of those weird things where they did that. So it's always the comics are dumb. Comics are crazy. They do what the random stuff. Yes. But in our story that I read, we had Black Kryptonite. Black Kryptonite turned Superman evil. Well, it didn't really turn him evil, it turned it into a Bizarro version of him. Like, Bizarro, just me, talk, just the backwards talk. Actually, speaking of Bizarro, next Friday, we have 2 Bizarro stories in this thing. We have the Bizarro arc, where Superman sees Bizarro Superman. So, I hope you guys can join us next week for that, because Bizarro comics are fun. I mean, some people don't like Bizarro because his speech is just like, oh, yeah, everything's backwards, like, oh, me hate you. Which, I mean, that's the way of saying, oh, I like you. Or just the backwards logic where, on Bizarro Earth, the Flash is slow, Batman killed his own parents. What's the Bizarro thing? Oh, Aquaman can't swim. So yeah, Bizarro Earth is just, everything's backwards and fun. It's I mean, I like it. I like the concept. It's like one of those old Silver Age concepts that Morrison modernizes into something rather fun and interesting. Just now, I'm very glad to have you guys to join this raid. Because, you know, of course, everything, like, just weird stuff happens in comics. That's what I love about comics. Comics can be incredible. They're just amazing. Weird stuff will always happen. In fact, let me pull up some more images. What's that one image I want to get? I got a weird one. Okay. Superman, Batman, Grave. On that one. Oh, let me save this image. I'm on a new tab. No, comics can be a bit. Actually, in the new tab. Okay. Save as comics. Yes, that's a JPEG. I'll add it up to the screen now. These are just going off the top because this part of the end is just me rambling about comics and trying to tie them into what we read. But you guys know, comics can just do weird stuff. For instance, let's get this image up. Like, you know, we have the time like, oh, the world's finest. Like, hey. Well, I closed that tab. Oops, my bad. Yes, hurry up with your graves, Jimmy and Robin. I'd finish you off myself, but I have a code against killing. So I'll do the job instead. Yes, comics back then could have just anything random, like, oh, in some ways, it was like the prototype to clickbait. They would have weird, crazy, like, comic covers, and that would make you don't want to buy it. In fact, speaking of trying to make you buy comics, it turns out DC found out if you put a monkey on the cover, people buy comics. So that's why Ultra. They found out, like, hey, if we just put a monkey on it, people will buy it, and that makes it so you can see just so many. You know, actually, I'm gonna start saving a ton of these. Let me get them all at the same time. House of Secrets has a monkey. Batman had a monkey. It's just, I don't know why they did that, but hey, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then, I mean, well, then what are you gonna do? Just know, just put a monkey on the cover, it sells. And I'm kind of sad that they, that no is a thing. I guess the modern sensibilities are not monkey. We don't want to return to monkey anymore. Just know, Batman had a cover with a monkey on it. Oh, what's the other one we grab up there? House of Secrets. There we go. House of Secrets had a monkey on it. You know, it's just, you know, all the monkeys. Like the ultra. That's why there's so many monkey heroes. There's Ultra Humanite. There's Gorilla Grodd. There's Manzumala. There's so many. Okay, not even a villain, but a hero. Detective Chimp. Detective Chimp is a better detective than Batman himself. He's the world's greatest detective. And actually, recently there was a new monkey hero called the Monkey Prince. So actually, I guess DC is returning to monkey. This is actually a new character that came out I think this week actually. He was in the DC Celebration of Asian Heroes. He's the Monkey Prince. So we have that new character. So hey, maybe we are returning back to monkey. It's just always like, oh, just know, like, we actually, you know, be back in the Age of Monkey. You know, we had the what's the thing for the King Kong one. So yes, Return to Monkey is now time to begin once more because we had the Monkey Prince, and I think it's just kind of silly how they like, decided, like, okay, if we put that on cover, we sell comics. I mean, hey, that's the point of the thing, sell comics. But hey, if you can make a good story about it while you're selling it, that's even better. Let me get one. This isn't a monkey, but this is another example of how back then comics would be rather like clickbait. The age of clickbait was like, oh hey, we'll put this outrageous scene of what happens, and like maybe they'll like say, hey, I have to buy this. Like, are they gonna kill Aquaman? Are they gonna kill him off? But no, they're not gonna kill off Aquaman or Jimmy Olsen. Oh, this is another Jimmy Olsen's pal. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen comics were wacky. They just went crazy in those comics because like they didn't have much of a mandate. They're like, hey, what do we do? So long as the end of the comic is status quo, who cares? Because, you know, Superman comics have been crazy. Like, for instance, we had Lana Lang in the comic, Baby Lois. Let's get this. Yes, now we had Superman's pal, and we also had Superman's girlfriend. Superman had a lot of comics with, like, his name and his friend. Let's get that one up, find that comic as well. Where yeah. There it is. Yes, no. We've had, Lois Lane turn into a baby, because, you know, there was this whole thing where, Superman's girlfriend was Lana Lang, or was Lois Lane, and Lana was the, Lana Lang and Lois Lane. They have very close names. Double L as well. It's almost like a Marvel name. One thing that's kind of funny is Marvel, their names are very, like Bruce Banner, or, so they have a lot of alliterations. In fact, one time, Stan Lee was hired by DC to make DC versions of his characters, and as part of the joke, he changed all their names to be alliterations. So actually, yes, that's kind of like what they do. Like for a while, we had these like really weird comics, like, oh, Lois turns into a baby, or Lois turns into an old lady. Oh, let's get the Oh, that's actually a time where Lois Lane turned into a black woman to experience racism. Let me find that comic as well. Well, actually, there's no Superman comics were crazy. They went outrageous, and that's one thing All-Star Superman does. All-Star Superman takes these crazy concepts, but kind of modernizes them and tones them down to more realism. But like, hey, what else? Where else are you gonna get a concept like this? You're just not gonna get that from many things. And I can't believe just like what they did in those times. It's just so crazy stuff. Actually, what's that? There's a comic I want to find. Oh, gosh. Tip of my tongue. Which one is it? Sorry, give me a moment to think. I'm trying to think of more crazy stuff, because comics can go crazy. They just do what they want, and they Honestly, those early times I don't care. Actually, you know what? There's one I could probably pull up that, I mean, it's obvious. I've shown it off before. It's one of my favorite panels of a DC comic ever. Let me see. Self. Here it is. Quite literally the best panel in comics. What do? Well, I leave this place and I'm gonna go walk through a wall by saying math. Because, you know, math, that'll work. I just, like, talk, say some things, and then boom, you walk through the wall. Yes, Lois Lane's been turned into many things, and... Oh yeah, the time where Superman had a mermaid girlfriend. He had, Superman has had a lot of relationships. We have Lois, the mermaid, like Lana. That's basically the big ones. Like, we had the time where we're a bald woman. Oh yes, we have the time where Lois and Lana team up because Superman falls in love with a bald chick, and they're like, nope, can't do that. Oh wait, found it. David Jazz. Just no. Comics back then were like, hey, we make it an outrageous looking thing at the front page, and then make you buy it. So like, you have to know, because back then you really couldn't. I don't know. Like, go online and look at comics. I mean, that's not what I do. My comics are all legal scans, of course. I own everything physical. Really, but yes, yeah. Lois Lane turned an old lady. So we have Lois Lane and a baby. Lois Lane's an old person. Lois Lane doesn't have a good time in these comics because, like, pretty much that's what Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane did. They're basically transformation stories where crazy things happen to them. In fact, let me get another. This will be an example of Jimmy Olsen where transformation just turns into something insane. In fact, let me get the ins. There we go. Like, for instance, this image is an example of not every transformation, but it's like multiple. Where is it? Jimmy Olsen becomes a giant. Jimmy Olsen becomes electrical, a porcupine, stretchy arms guy, a werewolf. Jimmy Olsen's honestly one thing that's I don't care about like versus stuff that much. Like, oh, who would win, Goku or Superman, or that kind of dumb stuff. Like, if you could take all of Jimmy's powers, he'd be like one of the strongest. Like, combine everything Jimmy Olsen's been in like one body, composite him. Jimmy Olsen would be insanely strong just because he's done so many weird things in his life. It's been like, wow. Oh, well, I'm gonna get that other. Oh. Who would win, Jimmy, or Jimmy? Okay, that's a good question. Who would win the Jimmy fight? Actually, so yes, no. Old comics, they just did what they wanted. They didn't care about, like, oh, does that make sense scientifically? Who cares about science? I want to see two chicks fence each other. Oh yes, no. All Fair Love and War, where we have Supergirl, Lord the Mermaid, Cleopatra. I mean, yes, the Superman does time travel sometimes. But yes, no. We get just like all these weird comics just because they're all fighting us. Wait, was Superman the first harem protagonist? I mean, not the first, because like Superman comics were they the first like the dense harem rom-com genre? Like, you know how we have the manga. It's like, oh, the dense guy can't choose a girlfriend. Is that just what these comics are? The first battle royale. You know what? I think this kind of Superman comic would count as one of those harem animes. Haram. I guess you never know how much manga takes from comics. I mean, let's see. Goku's origin story got retold in just being Superman itself. Like, oh, Doom Planet, a scientist sends you there. I mean, that sounds like pretty much like Superman. I mean, hey, Goku, Superman. I guess that's what the similarities are. Actually, funnily enough, a couple summers ago, in one of the DC's online releases, completely haram as well. There was a comic, a Superman comic that was basically it was basically a Goku comic where Superman fires energy blasts, teleports behind you, not the personnel. I gotta pull that up. Is that the right word? Yes, the Wrath of Wakosa. Oh, Wiokosa. Weeaboo. Maybe there's a, let's get that in. I have to get a specific panel up of that, because that's a really good panel. Actually, there's two panels where he, like, oh, yeah, that's a good panel. that'll work out. I'll have to story that it's the one itself as well, because like it's just a good short story that I might do in the future. Oh, let's fine. Panel, please, please. There it is. Thank you, panel. Well, my image is giant now. Let's shrink it down a bit, bud. Bit more. Yes. Now look here. He has an energy beam fired at him, and he just swats it away. He also does the teleports behind you, super fast speed. He has the aura around him. He did a whole training arc where the purple guy he's fighting trains him how to be a strong power. He gives him weighted training armor where he like steals away his power and forces him to train. So yes, we had a whole comic that was just Kaioken. Pretty much, yes. We had that happen. So I mean, like, Superman can do that. So yes, no, he has the the million blows in a second, the anime stuff. So yes, no, Superman anime, it's actually kind of there. Although, Superman's, I guess DC's tangle with manga has been in the past, like, oh, how would Superman order his eggs at a restaurant? Good question. Well, he's the All-American, so I'm pretty sure he'd have scrambled. He's the American boy, but yes, no, you guys know the creator of Akira? You know Akira, that amazing manga, anime, all that stuff, the movie, Akira. He's written a Batman story. He wrote a story for Batman. Katsuhiro Otomo. He wrote a Batman story once. It was way back in not way back, but way back. It was 1996, so not way back, but just a while back. It was trash, right? It wasn't that bad. It just had a weird message. But yes, we've had basically very well-known writers from Japan do stuff for comics. Actually, there's actually one artist I really wanted to see. Japanese Spider-Man as well. Oh, the Spider-Man one was terrible. I've read Japanese Spider-Man. That story just goes like full dark, and like Spider-Man isn't a hero in it. He's not a good guy. The Akira writer story was pretty good. It was not great, but it's just cool. Actually, there's actually one comic artist I'm gonna pull up real quick because her art is amazing. Is 2021 the comic? No, 2020. Just trying to find the right date. Oh, it's 2018, okay. 2018. That's kind of, when you have comics that have the same name over and over again, you kind of have to date them, like, oh, which Shazam is this? Shazam from back then, or is it Shazam from then? This is one artist I'm trying to find. Artist. Yes. Oh, yes, here it is. There's this artist who basically she was a Westaboo fan artist that did a lot of Shazam. She did a lot of Shazam artwork, and she actually was able to put on the Shazam comic for a while for a thing. It's cool how like let me actually pull up the image up that she did for the Mayo Nato Sin. She's a massive fan of Captain Marvel, and she actually makes a lot of fan art for them. And she was put on the book for just a side story, and that's really cool. Let me actually pull the image up. So, image. It's really cool when like Japanese like influences Western stuff, and when Western influences Japanese stuff. That's what I like about the exchange. Like you have, so like, here we have some of her art, and like there's another artist I'm trying to think of. It's kind of cool that they let that happen. Like let's get that. Trigger did nothing wrong. Cross pollination, exactly, Daishima. That cross pollination between that, like, it's just really cool. Actually, I'm trying for French cartoons will do everything right. And trying to look for that. There's another artist I'm looking for that does really good stuff. Is that it? No, I don't think that's it. I don't know her name that well, and the one I'm trying to look for is like I keep getting this other artist instead. Actually, wait, I can find it. DC Wiki Shazam. She did Shazam stories. That's the way I'll find her that way. Oh. Have you seen those Shoujo Cape Girl figs? Pig, I have not actually. I actually haven't seen that. I mean, that sounds interesting. Just like the concept of that. That's fine. I think it's like volume 3-ish. Please. Marco San. Give me one, guys. I'm trying to look for this one artist that I'm. Insular's. Shoujo statue. Oh. That's what they're called, huh? What is that? So I'm looking through the thing. I have to be able to find it that way. What? Weird. It's not. Nope. Did I miss it? Give me just a. It's one specific artist I'm looking for that I love her art style. I mean, I love her art style, but I know her name because I usually just don't I'm terrible with remembering stuff like that, like the or I'm about with actors, writers, and all that stuff. But when I recognize it, I know it. Okay, this might be the way to find it. Wait, Wasp Girl. Actually, wait, this is yeah, okay, that. Okay, that one. That should give me the artist. Oh, this is it. Sorry, I mean, there's one artist I really like, but I don't know her name. Well, I'll find it next time. You know what? Next time I'll find it. But yes, thank you everyone for coming for this. This was a very good, I had a good time. Because, it's so good to just share these kind of comics. Comics are, they're not really a big thing anymore. I mean, the way I feel is like modern comics says, hey, let's write a comic story just for the sole purpose of it becoming a movie. It's like they don't write comics, they write adaptations. Like, you can see where they have like for some Marvel comics, you can see, oh, this is where the Marvel quip is going to be put in this panel, or this is where they change it to be like this. So it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense because it's like, we're no longer a source of comics. We're just the well that you draw from to get stories from. Which, hey, if movies are what sell over comics, that makes sense. Actually, I'm gonna try one more time to find that. Never mind. I can't find it. I'll find something right now because I think this was a good time. We had a good talk about just the crazy stuff that it can be, as well as just how wonderful it is. Okay, who to raid though? Anyone doing something similar to comics? Oh, also just comic. Oh, we have comics explained. One second, let me check this guy out real quick. Oh, it's just a no. This guy's not live. He's nope. While there was a guy doing comics, it was just it's basically his YouTube channel, like going constantly like over and over again. So let's raid someone live instead. Let's not raid someone that's like not even doing anything. Who would raid though? LMAO, yeah, no. He's I don't keep track of comic people that actually. This one I haven't raided in a while, and they're doing art. And art is, pretty nice. Okay, /raid. We're raiding Picky. Hello, Corgi. I see I came in late, but I had a good stream. I hope you had a good stream. I did have a good stream. Thank you, Corgi. And now we're gonna just go raid Picky.